to the Podsack Podcast. It's your boy Sheldon, Andre, and Coop. We're here to talk about anime game news.
I really don't know what to do when he's doing that. I don't know what to do with my hands.
You're supposed to dance along.
I don't want to.
Let's make a dance for it. I'm in. I'm gonna think of some dance
That
moves
was the
for it.
whitest thing. I'm in.
I'm in.
That was so.
Let's go.
That was so like old white people energy. I'm in.
We're coming. I'm gonna make a little jingle and a little dance to go along with the jingle.
Just this.
Yeah, it's gonna be something like that. It's gonna be something very
God.
simple.
Oh my God.
But we're gonna start doing it.
Please.
You've come up with this idea.
Why?
But yeah, we're back with another week
There-
of stupidity anime. Really, just one anime, just Solo Leveling.
Yeah.
That's really the episode.
This is kind of the last pod before like 3 animes come out, and then we're just like,
Until something hits the fan, and I can't say it because we're in the first 10 minutes.
no, I mean in the sense of like after this pod,
Oh,
then it's like just like
it's off to the races.
yeah,
Dude, next week's insane.
yeah.
We have DMC, Windbreakers, Fire Force, and the Nintendo Direct to talk about.
Yeah, I'd say like April,
Huge
May,
day.
and June are going to be very jam packed.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna be having all. Oh my goodness, we have the anime awards are coming.
yeah.
There's just
Is the
way
Demon Slayer
too
movie
much.
in the next couple months, or is it this year?
I think it's this summer.
Yeah, so there's that.
So let's take this nice breather, this
Yeah.
nice relaxing pod with Sheldon behind.
yeah,
Of course, me and Andre Bro Show.
yes, sir. Yes,
We're
sir.
back. We're back.
the boys.
Um,
How's the week?
eh,
That's fair.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yesterday was-
silence your phone.
Yes.
it is. It is. It is. I made sure. It is.
Yesterday was a brutal day. It was it's bad.
Rough.
Yeah, not been a great week, but
Yeah.
hey, what can you do?
True, true. My son is getting more and more attitude, and I hate it. So the other day, I wanted to tell this story on the pod specifically.
Yeah.
The other day, he was jumping off the kitchen table chair onto a pillow on the ground, and at one point, like the pillow slipped, and I was like, "Hey, stop doing that!" And he's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Just for the love of God, stop doing that, because you will slip and fall without even skipping a beat." Homie looks at me and just goes, "All right," and I was like, "Don't you ever fucking don't finger
Hey, first 10 minutes, buddy.
Oh,
Oh,
damn
my
it.
goodness.
Sorry, but
Didn't even make it.
I
Didn't
wish
even make it.
I wish it so.
You're bleeping that, too.
I will.
2 minutes in.
2 minutes.
I will bleep that. I usually don't swear, but I was so mad that he's like, "All right." I was like, "Don't finger gun me."
All right, Dad.
Yeah, bro hit me. He's like, "All right," and I was like, "Don't."
You got to give him the dap after that. Come on. It's
I
dap on
got
time.
so mad.
You grab his hand, yank him up by his arm, and chest bump.
I got
And then
so
throw him down.
So mad that he's just like, "All right," and I was like, "Where do you get off being 5 and just hitting me with, 'All right, Dad'?" Like,
All right, Dad.
like I
No,
was,
we're good. We're good.
I was just like, and I like
Homie.
the hardest thing as a parent, especially with
Well,
him,
bro.
is when he gets mad, and I'm like, don't laugh. That's just
No,
don't-
honestly,
it is so
that would
hard.
be so hard because I feel like if it was me and Jane's gonna be the one who's gonna be like mad, and I'm gonna laugh so hard.
Oh, I do all the
'cause
time.
I like antagonizing her, so the moment my kid antagonizes her, I'm going to be laughing.
Especially when like say like he's like acting up and like Candace goes, "Stop that," and then he gets mad and like grabs it like his stuffy or something to walk away, and he trips and falls and he turns around to like look if anyone's laughing, and I'm like,
I'm dying.
It's so hard.
I'm dying.
Or if I say something and then like he goes, "Stop it," and he pushes me and I push him back, and then like he tries to push me and I don't move, and he's just like, and I'm like, it's so funny.
That's good.
It's
That's
funny.
good.
But you know what else is good? Anime.
Yes. Oh, actually, I do have a small ethical question that I wanted to ask.
Ethical's crazy.
I know it's weird. So, okay, this is a date night that me and Jane had, and Jane is an influencer. My girlfriend's an influencer. She does
Yes,
an influencing
yes.
thing.
Yes, yes.
And so we got invited by the steakhouse.
Keg?
No, I won't give the name, but
Oh yeah, fair. Yeah, yeah.
just I won't give specifics on names, but so she schedules the whole thing
Yeah.
for a date. The marketer says, "Perfect, let's do it." Right? Everything's gonna be set up for you. You'll be good. Day before, dude messages, right? He says, can we change the date?
The day before?
The day before.
I'd be like, bro.
And that's what she said. She's like, can we still do tomorrow? It's kind of like booked already. Like we've already scheduled our days around this.
Yeah.
We've been looking forward to this. And he doesn't respond. So this is where the ethical question comes in. She says I don't know anything about this. I think we're still going.
Yeah.
We're on our way there, and I find out about this right when we're parking.
Oh.
I don't realize. And I'm like, you didn't double check to make sure. Would you guys have like, if somebody asks you to change the date, do you still think that that event is still going on?
At that point, did he still not message back?
No.
He didn't message back.
No.
Then that day is still on. That's on him.
That's what she said.
That's on him.
We were already seated, and he messaged.
So he want. It's not an ethical question. It's not even to do with ethics. It's just responsibility.
It is.
This dude asked
Mm-hmm.
if we could change.
Yep.
She replied, "No, everything's booked."
Yep.
And she asked if it was still okay.
Mhm.
If he had not responded,
Mhm.
that's on him.
I see.
He
This
could
is,
if he could have said no, this is not okay. Then there'd be no reason to go.
see. Hear me out.
That'd be like
This is Jane. This is Jane. That you have the same mindset that Jane does.
that'd
And
be
she
like
said,
if I book someone for a photo shoot and like 5 hours before, they're like, "Hey,
Well, no, you can still use the 24 hours. You can. It doesn't even need to be
if
5
they
hours before.
messaged like before we had left, it wouldn't have been a problem, right? They messaged once we had been seated. That was the problem, right? We still ended,
once you got seated in,
Yes.
then they messaged you.
they said, "Are you seated already?" Literally at like
They
5:05.
messaged her.
Yeah. And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like,
Yeah.
And
so,
so
so that's
oh no, this is 100% on that guy."
No,
no,
like
no,
like
no, no,
not
no.
even a question.
and they the thing is, the steakhouse they took us on. They did the whole thing. The only reason was because they were having some plumbing issues, and so the washrooms weren't like working properly.
Oh, so they wanted a full 100% experience.
Yes, they wanted to do a full experience. They also ran out a lot of the steaks we were talking about. So we did get a good one. It was delicious. It was fantastic, right? But they didn't have like as many options. So I think
They
they
wanna
wanted
just
to
be
wait.
Transparent in the message.
I think it was a lack on the marketer's hands for sure. And I don't think that it reflects the steakhouse. The steakhouse was great. Actually, we loved the food.
Yeah,
it was
it's
delicious,
the
right?
responsibility of the person that contacted,
Yeah.
and they dropped the ball hard. If they were just straight up truthful, I think your partner Jane would have handled it a little bit.
Yeah,
differently.
just be, "Hey, excited to see you. By the way, plumbing issues, bathroom might not work, and our list unfortunately isn't as big, but we're so excited to see you come." Easy.
And so we did end up getting that service. The manager was excellent. He went
Perfect.
through everything with us, and he's like, "Yeah, da 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 da." We had the day. My thing was, I felt like if somebody ever told me that they're gonna change the date, I automatically assume that event is canceled. That's in my head. That's how I work, and that's why I'm thinking of an ethical question, because I asked one of my
So wait,
coworkers.
if they ask you to change the date, you're automatically like, "Oh, it's canceled."
I automatically think that date doesn't work. For whatever reason, it's
That's
going to be off.
interesting.
I'll
Okay.
follow up and ask, "Yeah, what's the problem?" But if I don't get a message, I'm not going to show up. That's how I work,
Fair.
right? And that's just how I think, because obviously there's something wrong. I'm not going to intrude on boundaries. That's where I come in. But to her point, she says you can't get anything done if you aren't aggressive. And I said, "You know what? You are 100% right. She's 100% right. She didn't do anything at fault. I'm not saying she's at fault for anything, right? She did what she was supposed
That's
to do.
something
We did what
I'm
we were supposed to do.
learning, in the sense of like where I'm going with my stuff is just being more like aggressive.
Yeah, that's one
It's
thing.
a hard line to cross.
It's a hard line to cross. Personally, I'm just not that type. I'm just laid back. I'm just not going to take that
Yeah.
and do that.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm learning that when I go on photo shoots, and I'm like, could you just like
Yeah,
move
yeah,
over?"
yeah. No,
Right?
no. You
Now
gotta
I'm like,
be-
hey, fucking, you know,
yeah.
move
Get
over.
get in there. Another one.
We're
Stop.
past 10 minutes. We're past 10 minutes.
We're not
Damn
past
it.
10
minute
minutes.
under.
I knew it. I knew. See, I got a built-in timer. I already know.
Damn it.
See,
I don't.
So yeah, I mean, it's just a weird ethical question. I
And
want
it's
to see
not
where you guys
aggressive.
come
It's
from.
assertive.
It's
That's a better
assertive.
way of
Assertive.
saying
Yeah,
it.
there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I'm using the word
Yeah,
aggressive.
but
I
like
should've
once you
said assertive.
cross it, it's like, oh, it's easy.
Yeah.
And I can see how Jane has crossed it. Now she's more comfortable. But there's being like, how can I explain this? There's being assertive politely, and then there's just being a dink.
Yeah, kind of like how Solo was today. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Yes, please.
How is it assertive?
That was a good segue. I
You'll
was
see
trying to
what I
think
mean.
of one. I was for the last 30 seconds. I'm like, how do I segue this? You got it.
Well, we got into it, but then you asked your ethical question.
That's true.
I tried first.
We
Yeah,
have
put that on.
solo leveling. That's
all we
to
have.
get into. That's all we have.
Last
This-
episode of the
This is the
season.
last episode of this season. This is episode 25 or season 2, episode 13. End of the Jeju Island arc.
Jeju.
Jeju. Juju?
Juju.
The Jeju Island arc. So yes, we have the Jeju Island arc. We get right into it, right off the rip. We are exactly where we left off. The Chae-Hin is laying on the ground. They're setting up Byung-yu right next to her.
Well, first, Jinwoo tells camera guy to turn off the camera.
Right.
And he
yes.
goes, why? And he goes, do it or I'll break it.
That's true.
It's
Yeah,
very
he's like,
simple.
Do it or I'll
Do it
break
or I'll
it.
break it.
Assertive.
Yeah. And I was saying to the guys here, apparently let's talk about what happened and then I'll explain this.
Yeah.
because it
Yes, it
correlates.
plays
So, yeah.
into it.
So he goes, turn off or I'll break it.
And then
Guy goes, okay, cool.
Yep, they
and
lay
then,
Byung-yu.
Kargalin grabs her and puts her beside his body.
Byung-yu's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His own whole of a body.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what the hell?
Yep.
What's he gonna do?
So he hits the Arise.
Yeah. So basically he thinks that the only real way to save her
Yeah.
is to use a healer.
Yes.
Which is dead.
Mhm.
But we learned that now he can arise things
Yep.
that he hasn't killed.
Yes.
So he
This is an
arises-
argument. This is a day-old argument.
Yeah.
We've had this argument on this pod.
Yeah, so he arose the healer who, without even giving an order, healed her. And now what I was
assertive.
Assertive.
Word of the day,
Word
assertive.
of the day is assertive.
So what I was saying to these guys is I saw on social last episode, Jinwoo turns around very fast and looks at the camera. Apparently, if you listen apparently if you listen very closely in the version that we all watched, right before he turns around, you can hear it like inaudible. And then apparently in Korea, it's subtitled "Use my power." So it's
Cooper,
basically
you do it.
What, the look?
The look.
so it's so it was Homeboy from the dead being like, "Use my power to save her."
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah,
thus now we know.
He heals her.
Yeah.
And we get this little exchange with Bayak, who's then saying like, who's talking to Jinwoo, and he's like,
Look, you
Dude.
like he was my homie.
he was my homie,
Like this is a crazy power, but he hates fighting.
bro.
So if you're gonna use him, just don't use him in
no,
battle.
he didn't even say that. He just asked for him. He said he doesn't want to fight.
Oh,
Can
yeah,
you
pardon me. Yeah, yeah,
basically
yeah.
He doesn't wanna be on the
please-
battlefield.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
want to be on the battlefield. Can you please release him? And and Jinwoo says one of the hardest things. He just goes, you put your hand on my shoulder once before, and it was
It was an order.
it was an order. Now you're pleading. He's just demoted this man.
He said it. He didn't say it like he was condescending though.
Oh, he didn't say it like
No,
it was
no.
condescending, but
No,
you know what man wanted.
It was
to say.
more of like, you're respecting me now. This is an earnest plea. You're asking for help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. He's asking for help. So-
When he said,
but that's little broing big dog. That is little broing big dog.
at this point, do you even think the S ranks are dogs at all? They're pups.
They are
compared
pups,
to compared
bro.
to what
Let's be real.
in the last what maybe two and a half episodes they have done nothing but watch.
Cry.
They have done nothing
They
but watch.
Cried. Okay.
So at this
They
point,
did- I was wrong. I said maybe they gonna put up a fight. I was 100%
So
wrong.
at this
They didn't
point,
do nothing.
at this point, Tiger Guy walked up. This is the equivalent of walking up to your big brother and be like, "Hey man, I know you're not using the
Yeah.
I know you're not using the game system. Do you mind if I just like
For real though.
do you mind if I play games for like
For
5 minutes?"
real though. He's
And-
big bro.
Yeah, and like
He
your big brother
bro
turns
my
around
act.
and goes, "I guess so, man."
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah,
I guess this time.
yeah.
That's what he said.
It's literally it. But yeah, so we learned that Jinwoo can release a shadow,
Yes.
which I don't think no one in this room kind of like knew.
Yeah.
I didn't until
I thought he could. Like I didn't. I thought he could. I never thought that. That wasn't an astonishing fact to me. I thought he could release them at any point.
I thought he was over here
I
Ash
wanna
Ketchum
know-
collecting all the Pokemon.
I want to know if when he got the Shadow Monarch, you know how it gave him like a bunch of abilities. I think so. It was Shadow Extraction, right? Like
yeah,
what he could do, and I think Shadow Release was one of them. I feel like
might
that
have been.
would have. I feel like it was teased earlier. Maybe I'm misremembering this,
yeah.
but for whatever reason, it wasn't an astonishing fact to me. But
Yeah.
he releases Beongyu.
Yeah, all is well. Byakuya is like, thank you. What corresponds after? Oh, and then we get if I'm not mistaken, the other hunters outside, and they're like kind of fighting off the ants.
Yeah, the ants are swarming everything. They're actually making it out to like the mainland and
Yeah.
everything.
Because now that
So-
the king's dead, they're like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
they're like, what do we do?
yeah,
And then we cut back, and Jinwoo's walking up to.
no. First, actually, the Japanese guy is telling his team to
Oh right, I forgot about
to
this.
leave
Yes,
because
yes,
like
yes, yes.
he's like the whole mission has gone to shit.
Yeah, the dude's crying on the boat, and he's
and
like, I
then-
don't want to go back. And they're
Yeah,
like, yo,
and then
somebody
we
actually
get-
killed
and-
him, and he's like,
And then we get the team being extracted.
yes,
And at this point, they're like, should we go back? And I think if I'm not mistaken, the archer guy says like, should we go help him?
yeah.
And then the fire guy is like, we'd only get in the way, dog.
Yeah,
Let's
we'd
just
only get in the way.
Leave him alone.
Yep.
Plus, I kind of want to go home.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
all fucked up here.
yeah. No.
So
100%.
yeah, and then at that point, if I'm not mistaken, Jin was farming.
Yeah, well, no, Jinwoo goes back. He's basically farming up the XP, and he goes to Biru's. He goes up to Biru,
Yeah,
and he does an Arise.
yeah. So he strikes his shadow. We all think it's just a normal boom, boom, bam, bam.
This is the
done.
weird part.
Yeah. So like, even the extraction was like a bit odd because he's like, oh, I thought I failed, but then it looked like Biru basically got like
Well,
reborn.
Hold on. The thing is, he went into like a darkness. Like he was like, I'm surrounded by darkness.
I think that was Biru's like aura.
It was his aura,
Yeah,
correct?
which is
yeah.
crazy.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like a cocoon in the back that's basically crystallizing, and then he comes out reborn as
New.
new. Basically full power Biru from what we saw in the fight.
Yeah. And then Jinwoo's like, cool, bet. He walks away, and all of a sudden he hears my king. And then Jinwoo hits the right.
Huh?
Yeah, he turns around and he's like, did you just talk? And he's like, yeah, man, what's up? And he's like, what the?
Hey, yo, huh?
You can still talk? So then we actually learn that Biru is like a new level. He's a general,
He's a general.
which is
Yeah.
nothing we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then Sheldon brought up the fact that like if the other ones hit general, can they just be like, hey, I found my voice, right?
That's a good question.
That is a very great
I
question.
want to know where that's gonna go, and I know for manga readers, they're sitting there typing like, I already know about it.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm just
how
like,
I
dude, we're
theorized
watching
about the healer
anime.
before the episode even aired.
That was crazy.
You did, yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Sheldon
So me and
spoiled
Sheldon went
the
to
first bit of
Wings
the
on
episode.
Tuesday, and he's like, I have a theory, and like predicted the first like 10 minutes of this entire episode.
Yeah, he really did. He's like, Byung-yu is gonna get revved, and he's gonna rev Chae-hee.
Yeah.
Right.
So so then Jinwoo gives the Ant King his name, and then there's a scene where basically the ants have made it to the mainland. Everyone's like fighting for their life. Bop bop bop. They're all like defeating the ants, and Jinwoo and Biru are like outside of the cave, and Jinwoo goes, hey, how fast can you kill all these ants? And he's like, my boy,
I got you.
let me tell you, takes off.
Missile. He's a missile. Just
Capital M missile.
just missile
Yeah.
through them. He's not even he's not touching them. He's just going through them.
Yeah. So at
At
this
Mach
point,
5.
bro is cleaning up,
Oh yeah, No,
cleaning
he's-
up all the other ants.
He's just destroying them.
Yeah. And then we see the team in the
In
I
the
guess like the
in
attack
the-
chopper.
Yeah, in the
And
helicopters.
there's a force field at the front, and
They're about
and-
to get him.
yeah, the shield breaks by the mage, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is how we go out!" Freaking lightning strikes them. They explode. They turn around. Jinwoo is literally on his shadow wyvern with a goddamn sword, and I was like, "Someone stop this man." Someone literally, and I even said, "I'm like, homie has a knight, giant polar bear,
bro's big dicking right
Ha-
now. Let's be real.
has a mage,
He's watching.
has a wyvern,
swinging.
has a giant tank of a person, and now an ant king. Someone please stop this man."
Was Ant King, Ant General now. Let's.
Pardon me. So
let's-
so then the clouds part, sun comes out, Juju Island is now done.
Juju Island is now done, and that's the end of the episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just kidding. So yeah.
No.
After that, there's a giant memorial for everyone.
Yeah.
There's some slander on Jinwoo's part.
Yeah,
People
they're-
are basically saying that like, yo, if you showed up like on off rip,
Yeah. If you just
No one
went
would've
there,
died.
bro, no one would have died. And kind of spitting facts, but like at the same time, he did just save everyone. He saved everyone. Y'all all are alive because of him.
and Byuk even says he's like, hey man, like
Yeah.
fuck the public.
Yeah.
He basically is like, forget the noise. She's alive because of you. You know,
Everyone's
like
alive because of you.
yeah,
That's
like
the thing.
if you weren't there, every S rank in that group would be mush.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, and the Ant King would still be alive, and there'd be thousands more dying because of like you not being there. So like, yeah, my homie's dead, and so are Pete and Tim. But I mean, you know,
so are Pete.
so are
and
Pete
Tim.
and Tim. But thank you.
We did skip a quick scene when Bureau was dashing around. We saw
Oh, that's
some of
right.
the old hunters that from like the first raid where he got his powers.
Yeah,
We see the B rank healer. We see the
Mr. Is it
can't-
Song?
I think it's Mr.
Homie that
Song.
doesn't have the arm with the ponytail.
Yeah, I think you're right. I
yeah.
think it is
Jin
Mr.
was
Song.
like first friend.
Yeah, his first friend.
Yeah.
And so he is actually saved by Bureau.
Yeah.
Bureau saves him.
Yeah, and they're even like, what the hell is that?
what was that?
And the healer somehow is like, Jin.
It's Shenmue.
Yeah. Something else that I think we overlooked, which is major, is we see, if I'm not mistaken, the first or the next national level hunter, the Chinese dude with the swords.
I think.
And I know his name.
Okay, let's not spoil
I
his
think
name.
I know his name.
Let's not spoil
It
it.
spoils a lot of things, actually. They posted a bunch of like.
Okay, let's not spoil for everyone else. How
They
about
posted
that?
a bunch of pictures, and I know the names of like the two dudes as well, and
Ben,
what they are.
you're,
Sheldon, why?
You ruined
You
your
JJK'd yourself
you
again.
ruin yourself, bro. Why are you doing this? You do this to yourself every time. He likes it. He low key loves it.
I didn't think they were gonna put names.
He loves the thrill.
He loves the thrill. He loves living right on the edge. He's
really-
like, I want to know
He's sitting
things.
there, and he's like, oh,
He wants to know things, but he doesn't want to know major plot points.
Well, no,
And
like
then
the-
he gets major
it-
plot
it
points, and he's like,
posted,
"Ooh."
it had a repost at first. This is what attracted me. It reposted chibi versions of Jinwoo Shadows. I was like, oh, so I clicked on it, and then it took me to the solo.
Oh, and then
and
you.
then I saw it all.
So we do get that scene.
Yeah,
of,
so Guy is basically like, it's like a bunch of ships, and they're like, you know,
he's dope.
prepare all the guns, and then the commander's like, no, don't worry about it. He has it, and it's just this random dude sitting on like I think it's the bow. I think
Yeah.
that's the front of the ship, and he's just sitting there, and it's like a sky full of ants, and he's just sitting there, and he goes, and it's like that nonchalant like anime character that's like, I don't want to do this, but I have to, and just basically like unsheathes both
Wait.
swords.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He starts aura farming.
Literally unsheaths them, and then like X / crosses in the air, sends it forward, and then just
The
like
guild authorized that hunt.
I understand that reference, and then hits the ants, and like mushroom mini nuke explosion.
Yeah.
Just offs all of them.
Everyone dead.
Yes,
That's
dead,
All the ants dead.
dead.
It was like a nuclear explosion in the
That's
sky.
yeah. And then after
25 kill streak.
called, I understand that. And then in the manga, I showed these guys. There's actually a part that they skipped. If you guys want me to talk about that,
Yeah, we should talk about this because this is major. But well, actually, let's talk about it at the end.
okay.
Yeah, let's
We'll
go.
put a pin in that.
We'll put a pin in that.
Cool.
We'll go over those things in the end.
All right, cool.
So we were just at the memorial service, and
Yeah.
right after that, where were we?
Chairman Go and Jin are like,
Yes.
So,
Chairman-
you know, thank you.
Yep.
You saved the world essentially.
Yep.
You're tough as hell.
Yo, you're.
We're gonna become best friends. Here's my phone number, my Twitter, and my Instagram.
Yep.
What's next?
What's next for you?
Yeah.
He's like, what are you gonna do with your godlike powers?
I'm gonna retire.
I'm gonna retire. No, he says I'm gonna make my own guild.
And he goes, I'm gonna put this country on my backpack,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna.
He's
make
like, no, this country, he is going to be the world. Let's be real.
I think I was messaging Patrick when I was reading it, and I said, "Bro is gonna make a guild and be the only member of the guild."
Of the guild. No, the only other member of the guild is a D rank hero, Jinhu,
Yeah, literally.
his best friend, who he calls up and he's like, "Hey, yo,
Yeah.
you want to?
I need someone to lug around some crystals. Are you free?
And we found out earlier, in the season that really early in the season, I don't know why they really put that there, but Jinhu says like, "Ayo, Dad, Pops, I'm leaving our guild to go and work with Jinwoo." Right? We
Yeah.
find out that earlier in the season, and now it's coming to fruition. He's opening his own guild.
Yeah.
He's gonna be that,
Which
dude.
makes sense
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense. He's
Yeah.
stronger than everyone in Korea.
at this point. Yeah. So after that is the next point that wasn't in the anime, but it's in the manga that I will talk about if you guys want.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, after that, so after talking to Chairman Go, pardon me while I pull this up.
Yep.
Please don't play anything. Don't play something.
We're pulling up the manga panels because there is a little brief interaction that wasn't in this episode that doesn't make a lot of sense why it wasn't, because
Yeah.
it is kind of teaser territory, but it really should have been in this.
Yeah. So essentially, Jinwoo is leaving Chairman Go's office, and he gets approached by some people from the States, and they are like, "Hey, oh here, I believe I don't want to say, but I think they're part of like the FBH, which is like I think their version of the FBI.
Yeah.
So essentially, they go, "Hey, we have a proposition for you, some information."
The Federal Bureau of Hunters.
So someone, homie says, "Have you heard of someone called the Upgrader?" And it is an awakened person who can further enhance the abilities of another awakened individual. So there's someone out there. Don't you dare look at anything. I'll take your phone away. I'll do it.
Wait, so
So it's an individual who has awoken, who, if I'm understanding, can put you past your rank.
Mhm.
That's the assumption I got. So
Also, the elder from Namek.
essentially,
it's-
yeah.
I think it's, you know what? I think it's so simple. I think it's looking at us right in the face. I think it's just that, you know, that the statue god thing.
from the
Yeah,
very
I think you might be right.
from the
Right?
very first
Like,
episode.
doesn't that just make sense?
No, but didn't he just say it's a player that's already upgraded?
Yeah,
Like,
so
upgraded-
it's
so
a person.
Oh, it's a person.
It's a physical human being who has
Oh.
awakened their power. So if you're like A rank, I'm like, we can get you past S.
What?
Wait,
yeah.
I thought you said it's an awakened person that reawakened, or that can awaken.
Yeah, let's
It's an
go
awakened
backstory.
person who can further enhance the abilities of another awakened individual.
Okay, so they
Oh,
can
okay, so
upgrade
they're not
other.
about a reawakened person.
Yeah,
Just an awoken person. who
Yeah.
is-
So say if I'm
yeah,
the
yeah.
upgrader and you're like an
Mhm.
A rank and you're a B rank, I can work with both of you and bring you somehow past your rank.
Right.
Which is
okay.
nuts.
Right. So basically they bring him into the office. They're like, "Hey, we'll give you this. You have to be a US citizen though." That's the trade-off here.
Mm.
So basically Jinwoo meets this person, and her name is Madam Norma Selner.
Okay.
And they have a talk, and her and the informant talking to Jin basically go like, once you get a taste of this, it's like a drug. It's like you want more.
Hmm.
So basically, long story short, she takes Jin Butan and she's like, we got him. And she's, I think, gonna give him a
She
taste.
dies.
Sorry?
She dies.
No.
Oh.
So she
This
gives
is
him so she gives him a taste, and there's a moment here where she looks into his mind, and she is I will show you guys after, but I'll actually show you here. So this is her looking, so like she's looking at Jinwoo's mind right now, and she's like, it's just dark.
Talking your mic.
Sorry. And she's like, what the hell is kind of going on? And all she sees is this, just a hooded being in shadow.
So we
right?
might see that later, like probably in season.
I
3
feel like
at some
that's
point.
gonna be a season 2 thing that we're gonna get,
Season 3.
or season 3. Sorry, yes.
So then she freaks out. She has a panic attack, and Jinwoo is actually, the people in the office pull guns and point it at Jinwoo, and they're like, hey, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? So then the informant's like, hey, everyone chill, right? And they're like, Jinwoo, I'm so sorry. And she, the lady, she's like freaking out. She's like having like a panic attack, and
Yeah.
she's like, what is happening? And she's like, she's sweating, and the informant's like, I'm sorry, she's not feeling very well today. Can you come back another time? And the entire time, Jinwoo is like, what just happened? He has no idea what she saw. So then they ask her, they ask her, what did you see? And she's like, I'm not sure. I've never experienced anything like that before. He's a king, but he's also different from the other kings. When I stared into his mind, he stared back at me. So, and she's just like shaking. She's like, it wasn't him, but an eternal darkness inside of him. The abyss was gazing into me. And then, so Jin was leaving. At this point,
Sheldon, this is the plot of Mob Psycho. You were not in it at all. She looked into him. He has eternal darkness inside of him.
she looked into his mind, and all she saw was eternal darkness and a void or abyss, and it looked back at her.
Just seems like it's Kageyama.
So then,
That's Shigeo Kageyama.
It's Mob Psycho.
so
It's
then,
Mob Psycho.
so then,
So Hunter x Hunter, Mob Psycho put together.
then,
Everything's in this.
at this point, Jin has left the office and he's walking back to his car, and they're talking to her, and she goes, and also, he doesn't have a limit.
Whoa.
And that's the end of like that whole stint. And then we get to the part where he's stuck in traffic. And then
which is the next scene.
yeah.
So that's why we.
So
we
I'm
put that in
very
there.
surprised that was not in this.
Yeah. So he's stuck in traffic. He's on the phone with Bayek.
He's on the phone with
Or is it?
the other guy, the guy who left the guild, the D-rank guy,
Oh, right. Yes.
and that
yes,
girl
yes.
he saved in the beginning of
Right.
the
Yeah,
season.
they're FaceTime call.
Yeah.
They're FaceTiming. It's
And-
Jinhoo and isn't it Jinhoo?
Yeah, and I can't remember her name.
No,
but,
his sister's friend.
yeah, but then
who's
they
useless.
get off the phone. Chairman go, homies now.
Homies.
A first name basis. Hey, what are you doing? He calls and he goes, hey, there's a B rank gate because of all the traffic. Do you mind taking care
Yeah.
of it?
He's like, you don't mind? All right.
He's like, if the guild authorizes it, I'm in.
Yep.
So boom. I assume he just leaves his car.
Well,
Walks.
he doesn't. He just teleports. Yeah. He's just there.
And then he basically says,
Then he-
hey,
And then he says, hey,
hey, I'm here to take care of it. Okay, well, the other hunters, I don't need other
I
hunters.
don't need nobody, bro.
I'm going in
Walks in.
solo.
I'm going in solo leveling.
Yeah, I'm gonna go solo this thing. So he walks in, bam, red gate.
Redgate, of course.
Red
in,
gate. He even says
You
it
know
like,
what sucks? He was in a full suit. Man's now in the jungle in the mud. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like you gonna really put him in the dirtiest place you possibly can?
yeah. So he goes in the red gate. His POV is he even says it. He goes, "This was obviously a red gate."
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh well."
And then a bunch of monsters come around him, and
We get some
he-
like theme song, And yeah, he gets like surrounded by these like tiki looking
He's like,
monsters.
but if this is all that they got,
Yeah, lightning strikes like right,
They
like
ain't
I
ready
think
for this.
behind him, and then like the shadowy void opens, and then just like it, like
cinematic trailer.
the scene of his army coming up,
It's a 2-minute trailer.
like group by group was so cool.
Group by group, person by person, bro. They had for every single it was so many. Like
It was so, but
you
like,
realize,
but
that
this puts into perspective just how big this dude's army is now.
it's insane.
Yeah.
he has the what do you call them? The knights, the bears, the ants.
And this is in like no order. This is just like
I think
who
that
was there.
I think that was the first order, and then after that I get lost because then it's like
Okay.
tank, then it's like iron, then it's like Egress, then it's like
The dragon,
the dragon, then it's
Kargalan.
Tusk. I got everyone saying
I
Kargalan now.
hate
I
it.
got you saying it. It's Kargalan. Kargalan. We get who else was there? And
Biru
then
was the last.
Biru was the last, obviously, and he
Yeah.
comes out just aura farming, of course, just right.
Yeah, but like it's
It was all of the generals.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
every
Single one.
all the dwarf generals from Kargalan,
oh yeah, they were there
They
too.
were there.
The
Every-
orcs, bro.
or sorry, I said
Pirates.
dwarfs. My bad.
Yeah,
You are right. You're right.
Tusk,
You're
The
right.
generals. You had
Yeah.
Egress, Iron,
Yeah, we went through.
Tank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like it
But
just
you also have the armies and everything.
yeah, but just
yeah.
like I think for me, this put into perspective how big this dude's army is now.
Yeah, it really puts into perspective that. We also did skip something when he was in the. This is a big point. Back in the Spider Farm, before he gets to Biru,
Oh yeah,
he leveled up to level 100.
He did get to 100.
He did.
Leveled up to level 100. We saw that
So
on
are
the
we gonna
stat
see,
point.
like another like class upgrade, or
This is
at
what
this
I'm,
point is it like when you hit level 100, it's those end game skill points you get. You know,
Ooh.
it's just like bonuses.
Oh my god, we also
Like-
skipped something that was huge. Those two random people that you now know their name.
I think that was right. Was it? Oh no, yeah. It
I
wasn't.
know exactly what they are too now.
Yeah, of course. you
I
do.
hate
So
you.
there's a stint in the ant cave.
But
that
it
is-
was-
This was all. I'm not looking for this. This was all on accident.
this is all completely like out. This scene was just its own scene. It never really
And
led
if it
from
wasn't
anything.
me, Patrick would have ruined it.
True.
I'd rather
Um,
you at this point.
So it's a scene of this basically these five
The cleanup crew.
the cleanup crew. They're
Essentially.
cleaning up the ants. We're big, we're strong. Big dude comes out looking like
like an Amazonian.
like
dude.
an Amazonian dude. Just
But if you notice, even like him talking, he didn't sound human. Because at first,
No.
he sounded like
no, he said he made the noises like he was a monster. And
Yeah.
and the thing is, we saw him come out of a gate as well. I don't know if you noticed that. They right at the beginning, he opens a gate and comes through it.
is that true, Sheldon?
And then so what ends up happening is they're like, "What are you doing?" And then all of a sudden a finger snaps and they all fall asleep.
They sleep.
Another dude comes out of a gate
Who looks like an ice elf.
who looks like an ice elf, who apparently
elder.
has like magic
and the
stuff.
amount of like talking about someone
They're
it
talking
drove
about
me nuts.
They're talking about someone and nothing all at the same time because they don't put names or anything.
We got someone, we got a he, we got a
But
she. I was like, oh
I
my
think
god.
that because we did rewatch it and that I think was really good for me because I was able to lay it out a little bit better.
Yeah.
What I realized is they say that we feel the power of someone here of him here.
Yeah.
And they're like, why would he be helping the humans? And then they go on to say, I don't know, he's always been an odd one. So
I want to automatically think it's Jinwoo. I automatically
See-
want to think that.
and now so before you gave me that piece of that tidbit from the manga, I had a completely different thinking about how I feel now because after the episode we were talking about it and I said he was talking about his dad. It makes complete sense. They're probably feeling Jinwoo's aura and it feels like his dad's aura. I don't think that's true. I think the people who are reawakened have something inside of them now.
Okay.
Some power put into them that
Mhm.
can kind of manipulate the strings. And that's what we're getting from the system.
Interesting. I mean, we did see his dad eavesdropping on
because the
whole
system
conversation.
changes. Remember, it's glitched out and changed stuff.
When Jinwoo was trying to push it.
Remember when he had to kill those five
I don't think it
raiders?
glitches out. I think it changes.
It
to
changes
something.
and updates as
Yeah.
it goes, right?
Yeah.
What if that's just the thing inside of him
I have-
manipulating?
I have a question I'm gonna ask you both, but I'll wait till the end. It's about season 3, but I'll wait. Did you want me to take the
so
pin?
wait, hold on. Just to finish off that scene, those guys are talking. Da da da. Da. We get a pan up. There's a prisoner's outfit. Oh, who is it? Jinwoo's dad.
Yeah. Did you want me to take a pin out of the whole Thomas Andre thing?
Let's do that right after we finish up because we see him go off now and do the dungeon. Da 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 da.
Oh, it's just like
That's
like
the
a
end.
montage.
It's a
of this.
montage
Yeah.
of them fighting. That's the end.
Cool
of-
theme.
Cool theme.
Yeah.
He says it's
He's basically
time for
talking
the,
about like
he says the name
a hunt.
He says the name of the episode right at the end. It's time for the next target.
Yeah,
Which-
on to the
On
next
to the
target.
on to the next
It's just
target.
like a montage of like his crew doing what they do. At one
That's
point,
it.
we get like the whole like army lined up, and he's walking down. We get like a sick pose of him, and then he drops onto the next target.
Last episode, we had a huge argument here, and we kept bringing up this name, Thomas Andre.
Yes,
And there was a scene left out.
yeah.
That's pretty big.
So right after we get the guy who like has the two swords, Thomas Andre is watching. I assume a broadcast of Jinwoo doing, because on the TV in the manga panel, it's like it's
Well, he's been broadcast, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows his powers now. That's what the chairman was saying
Yeah.
earlier in the episode.
So basically, it's Thomas Andre who's a unit, by the way, just in his chair. Just the chair looks like this.
It's like Dark All Might.
It's
in a
crazy.
sense. Like,
It's crazy.
He's just
So his
massive.
assistant is basically talking to him, and she's asking him. And long story short, he mentions that must be the guy who killed what the hell's his name?
Dong
Mm.
Suk. Was it Dong Suk or Dong Hun?
It's not. No, Dong Soon is the guy who helped Jinwoo in the beginning. It's the guy who Jinwoo's dad beat.
Yeah, I think it was Dong Hun, Dong Suk,
Dong.
Sheldon behind the computer man. He's on
Yeah.
it.
Anyway, Thomas goes, that must be the guy who killed his brother, which led him to want the revenge.
Yeah, so basically, yeah. So because Jinwoo, Dongsu, right? Yeah. So Jinwoo killed his brother,
Yeah.
and then Dongsu, and then his dad beat the hell out of Dongsu.
Yeah.
And he says he was part of my guild.
Yeah.
bruh.
So he goes,
Thomas Andre goes,
Dong Su was part of my
was part of
guild.
my
That's
guild.
my territory. And Jinwoo,
it's
yeah.
my property.
John Woo, or Jesus Christ, Jinwoo fucked up my property. And now now nothing will stop me from fucking up him.
This is amazing. I can.
Thomas Andre is so big.
Thomas Andre is huge. He's a unit.
And Thomas Andre is a nation level hunter.
Well, we believe that he's a nation level hunter, and we believe that the one we saw with the blades was a national rank hunter.
Don't
as
say
well.
anything, please.
Don't say a single word.
About the homie with the
Homie
two
with
swords.
2 swords. We think he's the Chinese national rank. We don't know what his name
No,
is.
well, they said it. They said in the anime.
He is a nation
Well,
level.
what they said. Well, they kind of implied it. They didn't say it.
Yeah, they implied
What they said, because they were like, we should send out the squadron.
Yeah.
The captain of the ship was like, no, we'll let our hero of the country.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Which
I don't know if
I
it correlates.
honestly, I believe it implies that he is their
I
national.
do
hunter.
too. I do too.
Yeah,
I just
okay,
want to
okay.
leave room for people who are gonna be like, no, I didn't say it. Okay, yeah, of course. But let's leave room for speculation. They haven't really announced it yet. We think he is of someone's country.
Putting two and two together.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we think he's a national rank,
Yeah.
right?
So Thomas Andre basically says that he effed up my property. Now I'm gonna f up him.
Yes.
Which he's so big. Bro is so big. But yeah, that and
You
the
love Thomas Andre,
and the scene of like that lady looking into him, those two were left out of the episode.
Yeah. So
Which is-
those are missed content in the episode, of course. And honestly,
And if they were
They
gonna
should've-
be in
I
season 3,
understand-
I apologize.
I understand why they left the other one out, the one that you were talking about with the woman, the upgrader, right? But this one doesn't make sense to me. This one doesn't make sense to me. They teased him in this episode, Thomas Andre. We saw a big panel of like a bunch of hunters and him at the top, correct?
Yeah, they showed us a quick picture of a bunch of hunters, and you're right. His face was on top, the
On top.
biggest. Yeah.
Biggest at the top.
Dong Su is also in that.
Which
I think so, yeah.
Is he
Was he
Yep.
actually?
Yep.
in that
Okay.
picture?
Yep.
So maybe
I
that's
thought
his
that was-
guild.
Oh, maybe that is his guild.
Yeah, I
I
think
thought it was National Hunt. I'm surprised you saw that. I didn't. See
I
it.
I was
think-
looking at Thomas Andre the whole time.
I think that was his guild. I think.
We'll go back and check that. But yeah,
Yeah, I could be
'Cause
wrong.
My assumption was that those were all the national hunters, and he stood on top of them all, like
Mm,
significantly.
mm.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah,
Se-
that
Season as a whole.
season as a whole. Let's go over it. This was a crazy season. There was a lot.
Better than season 1 for sure.
Oh, we
Oh,
can't
yeah.
even. I don't even think we can compare the two. Like
This
it's-
this season, I've said it once, I'll say it again. His character progression only got better.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. This season is an elite level of anime.
Oh yeah.
It is one of the great seasons of anime because
This is
we
w-
get great episodes.
Yeah.
We get great fights. This is a great season,
Yeah. And like
front to back.
there's not many times where you can be like, you can obviously be like, great episode, mid anime. I think this across the board was just great.
Yeah.
Just great.
Yeah, 100%. I
Just
think they hit a bar. They kept relevance. They hit a bar, and I was never bored ever. This was an amazing anime. The pacing was a bit fast for some of the stuff. We've talked about this. We would love director's cuts with a little bit of extended time in these episodes.
Yep.
Give the fights a little bit of padding. Give
Yep.
some backstory, some fun.
There was I had said to him there they did take out the backstory of the name Boru. In the manga, they like
Yeah.
explain his
Yeah,
like
yeah.
back name.
They give the backstory of the name for Biru,
Yeah.
right? And so there's a lot of smaller things that would be cool and not very hard to animate because these would be very short clips, right? Like the scene you went over with the upgrader, that's like maybe like 30-45 second clip. Like it's not really that much
Like a
time,
minute 30.
right? No, I don't even think it's that long. It's gonna be real quick. This pacing is insane.
Unless they want to like emphasize it.
You know what's been great about this so far? Like this season was 100% like really damn good.
Yeah.
I would say like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10
yeah.
realistically.
I think it's 9. I think it's a solid 9.
like compared to what we've seen with like Sakamoto Days so far. Okay.
Yeah.
They do a good job of like, hey, there's an overarching thing coming. There's a
Mhm.
little bit more, and they sprinkle it in every
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, they do.
But at the same time, they give you something.
To look forward to.
Well, no, they give you a what we think would be a major conflict in each episode
Mhm.
of of what's going on.
Mhm.
Like season 1 was him finding himself learning about this new power. At the same time, it was like, well, it's leading up to something more. And then we get the fight with Egress, and then he ends up becoming what was shown the Shadow Monarch. All right, season 2, and while introducing the Jeju Island stuff
Yeah.
in season 1, and in season 2, it's like Jeju Island is getting worse. But now we've got this whole other thing where he's got to complete his mission for his mom, and
Not even just that. The small glitches.
well, yeah. Besides that, I'm just talking about like the major things. That
Oh,
we've
okay,
seen.
like major plot points. Yeah. Fair
There's
enough.
that, and then like, oh, like he is like competing now with other S levels.
Mhm.
He's at that rank,
Mhm.
and we're gonna start getting towards Island.
Yeah.
So, like I feel like Sakamoto did not like none of that. All we got was like, oh, he's an assassin. Nothing really going on. That it wasn't even exciting. And then slur.
He's an assassin. People
Seriously. And then we
It's
get
true.
like, hey, slur is this big bad.
It's true.
He's an assassin and people want him dead, and that's it.
I saw the I don't know if you guys saw the rating on IMDb for Sakamoto Days, but I think it's like 7. It's hovering around 7.5 out of 10, Like, how are you looking at this and giving it a 7.5? Maybe it is because Solo Leveling is airing at the same time, and damn, it's hard not to compare apples to apples when we watch them back to back, right? So we have to do these direct comparisons. And when you look at Sakamoto, it's not great. It's not, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but if anyone watched it, I don't think they'd hate it. I think they'd just be like, this is just boring. Like, this is just a
Cool.
boring show. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. It's not bad in any way. It's not to the point where I hate it. It's not like what Ninja Kamui did to us. I don't feel like it's that way. I was able to make it through it. It was boring and I didn't want to watch it anymore. But at the same time, I didn't think it had stooped to us. Like, every episode had its own thing, right? It had its own story. They're going through it. They had a little bit of action. At least the quality stayed consistent. There was a consistent show from front to back. That's what I could say about Sakamoto Days. Not great, but whatever. Solo is consistent in a completely different way. It's consistently great. It consistently hits above the bar. It can. The story is fun. The fights are amazing. The animation quality is there. The VA, fire, just absolutely great. I haven't watched it in English. I'm down to see what it sounds like in English, just because
The English VA is pretty good.
I've
Seen a couple of clips. I saw the clip of Jinwoo fighting Igris.
Yeah.
VA goes hard.
It goes hard.
He goes hard in the booth.
I think they do.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't see why not, because this anime is just phenomenal. I personally, my rating, I give it, let's say, it's hard. I want to go right in between 9 and 9.5, and I juggle it in my head because there were a few episodes where I
9.3?
gave it an 8, 8.5. Yeah, it's right in that ballpark. I don't know where it is, but it's in between 9 and 9.5. That's where it lies for me.
The whole season.
The whole season. That's my overall feelings
Yeah.
about it. Fantastic
I'll
anime.
meet you there.
Nearly perfect.
Yeah, I'll meet you there.
I could have asked for some things, but maybe that's just opinion based. This is anywhere between a 9 and a 10.
I think if we continue getting character growth out of Jinwoo,
Mm-hmm.
this will still be a good like it's gonna be a very, very good anime. Like,
Yeah.
probably in the top like 10 for a lot of people. But the minute they stop his growth, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be done. Like,
Well,
like,
no,
like,
the-
it's not gonna be done. Like, it's still
Hold-
gonna be good. But
hold on.
people are gonna be like,
You have to understand this show is only getting like 5 seasons.
it's yeah. Well,
Right?
They after season 1, it was slated for 5. It's slated for 5 more possible seasons.
5 more possible seasons. But
Yeah.
that's because the manga's done, right? The manga's completely finished. If you want to go read the entire thing, you can.
Manhwa.
Or manhwa, sorry,
Yeah.
manhwa. You are correct. I am wrong. The manhwa for this is completed.
first
It's
time.
out there. You can go and read the entire story, but we are waiting for the anime. How do you guys feel?
Yeah, I'll meet you at like 9.3.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Cool. 9.3.
Sheldon.
Yeah, I mean, I said it was like a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Yeah. Question for season 3. Do you guys, and I have no idea.
Yep.
Do you guys think at some point he'll have to go back to the double dungeon where this like his journey all started?
I don't know if they'll do it in season 3, but I feel like eventually he will.
Yeah.
I think there's like they wouldn't just
'Cause,
show
like-
that and then just whisk it away.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like he'll eventually
It's crazy.
go back to revisit.
There's
it'll come to visit him.
we have so much to look for. We have the entire we have the system that is slowly digitizing and breaking down, and we're seeing
We have his father.
things. We're getting his father. We have shadows that can talk. We have these 2 random dudes that they just showed out of the blue.
Yeah.
That came out of portals. We have the entire story of him doing or making it his own guild. We have, dude, this show, endless possibilities.
Yeah,
I don't know where it's going.
There's Thomas Andre and the Nations. Right? Like
I
there's
don't
there's
know.
so many side quests in
They-
the show right now.
Dude, yeah, there's too many side. They after season 2 finished, okay, it was like 40 side quests opened up, and you're like, dude, I don't know where to start.
Just pick one and go.
Just pick one and go. Start thinking. Start theorizing what we got.
Yeah.
I wanna
Do you,
know.
oh, another thing. Do you guys think that he'll get more shadows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. For sure. We do have some other stuff to talk about. Some Nintendo Direct stuff that came out. We got
couple
some
days ago.
games announced. Let's
Let's just go with the big ones.
go with the big ones.
Pokemon Legends.
Pokemon
ZNA.
Legends ZNA, yes.
New
I saw it.
gameplay.
New gameplay looks interesting.
I love how as a
an
trainer you
$80
can
tag.
sneak up to other trainers and just like sneak attack the Pokemon.
Yeah,
or sucker punch.
That's
whatever.
crazy.
I like that they're going into this like action style
Hey,
combat.
Pikachu.
Like I think it's about time. I know they did it with a little bit
Arceus.
of Legends of Arceus, but
Yeah.
I feel like they can continue to grow.
This
and get
is
better.
more refined. It looks like the refined versions of Arceus, and that is what it is. It's a sequel to Arceus, right? I think they're going in the right direction with this, where you're in Lumia City,
Mhm.
which is in Pokemon
X and Y. Right.
Was it? Yeah, it was X and Y, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's these little battle areas, right? And you can go
It's only
in there.
at night though.
No, there's battle areas throughout the city that you can go to, and during the day they are just Pokemon fields, regular
yeah,
Pokemon
yeah.
fields.
Sorry.
They call them wild.
They're
zones.
wild
Yeah.
zones
Yeah.
where you can go and catch Pokemon and battle Pokemon.
They're doing their thing.
and at night
They turn into,
all
like,
change
trainer
into
zones.
trainer zones where you go and you can battle.
I like how they have like the ranking system where you start at like Z and you can work your way up to like an A.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
that's kind of cool. And my favorite thing about this whole thing is the new battle system where it's like your Pokemon dodge in real time.
Well, yeah, that's what they kind of tried to do with Arceus, but like obviously failed in spectacular fashion.
And this is more refined.
This is a way
and
more
like
refined
it's
version.
cool how like if I have Totodile and someone has like a Charmander and I'm like, oh shit, right? I dodge, swap out, and then attack that. So like the battles can be a bit more strategic.
animated. Yeah, they're a bit more animated, a bit more strategic. There's
Yeah.
a lot more to go. It's JRPG style, right?
Yeah,
Like, that's
and
what
then
we're
if
getting.
I'm not, I've seen how like the moves are not like they're on a cooldown now, so it's not like
Yeah.
I only have 5 of that. It's like if I attack, I have to wait like 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot better than like the whole like 5, 15, 20,
100%.
right? And
I think it's cool. I like this idea. The game looks fun. I'm not paying $80 for it.
fair.
I'm not paying 80.
That's fair.
These games are not 80. I'm starting to realize this. With Nintendo, these games are not 80.
I will say the one issue that this game has is just like it looks like ass. It looks the mechanics cool. The city, if you really look at
They
like
definitely downgraded from Scarlet and Violet because Scarlet and Violet had those realistic skins
Yeah.
for the Pokemon, and
Well-
this they decided to take it away.
yeah.
It's because it's a completely different game engine that they're using. It's a completely different game engine than Pokemon, right? So they have to redo all of that great animation that they've got, all that that very clean cut, very glitzy, almost
Yeah.
Nintendo like very Nintendo feeling anime. They got to bring that or animation, they have to bring that into or the Legends series. Eventually I feel like we'll get there. This is the second iteration, and to be honest, it's looking a lot better than the first one.
I feel like the next game after this will be a Switch 2 exclusive and look like the game we want.
This is why we're going to tie into a conversation. We're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 a little bit next week.
Yeah, because the
Um,
direct is April 2nd.
Bang.
Yeah.
Direct is April 2nd. So we will be talking about this next week. And yeah, I can't wait to talk about it because there's questions I have for everyone. and
This I'm
we're
sure
gonna
will
be
answer a
on-
lot of questions for everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
But back to that, we also had Metroid 4.
Metroid Prime 4
Metroid
gameplay.
Prime 4.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, it's Metroid Prime.
I'm a big Metroid
Yeah,
fan.
you're more of a Metroid fan. I don't know anything
I
about
like
it.
I like Dread. I'm a big fan of the Prime series. I think they need to release Metroid Prime 2 and 3 on either a collab or on the online store because they have 1, but they don't have 2 and 3. So
Very odd.
but yeah, 4 looks good. Samus is on a new planet. She has new psychic abilities. She can open the door with her like mind and hands. She can shoot a beam and then control the beam to like hit everyone, which is cool. She gets a new suit. And there's a new alien race as well. That's pretty much all we kind of know. It just really showed off as we all know.
How do you feel about the new powers?
Interesting. I think out of everything that like has happened to Samus as a person, psychic abilities is not one thing I thought she would ever get.
Mm.
But I mean, it sounds like, I want to say a little, and I don't want to be mean, but like lackluster in the sense of like, you have like 1, 2, and 3 where she's had like Phazon, she's had like crazy suits happen to her. She's been in like Infected, in Dread she like was like half Metroid, half not. And like in this one, she's like, I can move things with my mind. And I'm like, okay, I hope there's a bit more than
Like we waited this long just for.
I hope there's a bit more
simple-
than just moving shit with your mind. But
like,
hey,
we waited like 15 years, 20 years just to get like psychic powers.
but I mean, like, I will play it off rip because I'm a big fan, but like, I just think everything surrounding the Switch 2, I'm just like a bit like skeptical in the sense of like, please don't suck, please don't suck, please don't suck.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all.
Fair enough. Fair
That's
enough.
all. Other than that, personally, the direct.
Tomodachi Life,
Yeah,
dude.
That was the biggest one for a lot of people.
Tomodachi.
I thought honestly it would have been Metroid Prime, but
Tomodachi
people-
Life looks
The-
sick.
well-
I remember getting Tomodachi Life and I was like, okay, I can see the
the
appeal.
pacing of the direct was also weird because like Metroid was like halfway through, and I was like,
I feel like it's
this-
always weird. They pad it out very weirdly.
I'm like, this should have been like your one more thing, but there was 2 one more things. But yeah, it was like halfway through, and I was like, oh, I'm cool. But then it was like after that, it was like,
I don't know what happened to their marketing. It's somewhere in the last 2 years, it's gotten their marketing. I feel like it's gotten worse.
very interesting.
It used to be better when Iwata was alive. It used to be better, and ever since he passed, it seems like slowly their marketing team
yeah,
has just been like, just put it together and make it look okay.
yeah. So Tomodachi
Very
Life,
weird.
again, personally, like other than those 2 things, there was nothing that I was like, "Ugh." The 2 one more
Wait,
things.
wasn't there? Can you pull up the list because I feel like there was like a couple more.
They weren't that big deal, man.
No,
Honest
I know
to
there was
God.
a
Like
lot
Dragon,
of JRPG
Dragon
stuff.
Quest 1 and 2
Dragon
was kind
Quest,
of the
yeah.
big one for JRPG fans.
Yeah.
And then Patapon is getting a remake.
Patapon,
Yeah.
dude. Oh my
Patapon,
goodness!
Wow.
Yeah, somehow. But I think Dragon Quest was the biggest one, and then Marvel's coming up with a new beat 'em up game.
Yeah, there's a new Marvel beat 'em
That
up game.
kind of looks like it'd just be a fun side-scrolling thing.
I
It's something you
don't-
play with the homies.
Yeah, I'll get it.
I'm not a beat 'em up guy. I grew up out of that era, I think, because
Like 2D side-scrolling.
yeah,
stuff.
the 2D
Fair.
side scroll. Because
Yeah.
when I got into
They're
video
fun
games,
with
it
people.
I
wasn't-
think there's a nice simplicity to them.
There is, yeah.
Sure, there is. Yeah,
Like
there's
if you just want something easy, or not even easy, just like quick and simple to play.
Nostalgic.
Like and a little bit of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Those side beat 'em ups like
Like-
Streets of Rage 4 and
Yeah.
this one coming
See,
out.
okay.
Is like
Did you ever play Scott Pilgrim?
no.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But that was like another one.
Yeah, see, they're not. I don't think they're my style. It's the same thing with like fighting games. I just can't play fighting games. It's just
That's
not,
fair.
Not
But
for me.
yeah, the 2 one more things is that okay, so the first one, if I'm not mistaken, this whole virtual game cartridge sharing thing.
Virtual game
That's
cartridge.
gonna be a big one.
So
I
this
was waiting to get into
so
this.
this is very confusing.
Why? Go.
I think no, sorry, it may just be a skill thing. It may just be I just don't understand it. But from
Go.
what I gather, if you're in a family thing and you buy a digital game, I can lend you said game for like 2 weeks to
14
play.
days.
Yeah, 14 days. Yeah.
And then you have to give it back. Which is
No, it doesn't.
There's
you
2
don't
different
get-
options.
You don't give it back. It just stops.
It automatically just goes
Oh.
back to your account.
Can you
Okay.
imagine in the middle of playing it just all right, goodbye.
like
It's like it's the equivalent of your like little brother or cousin come up.
Yeah, it's my
Like,
game now.
yeah, like so
But you can also lend it to them for an indefinite amount of time. Like
Oh,
there's-
can you?
Yeah, there's like you can trade them from console to console. So like let's say your family, you have like 8 games. You could have 4 on here and 4 on here and then switch
Yeah,
them
the-
over.
The stipulation is that your accounts need to be linked together.
yeah,
I
so
think-
say if you have 2 consoles, you can just like swap the games back and forth.
Yeah, I know
Swap the games, or you can multiplayer.
did they say it can only be done within the family? Cuz I
Yeah,
think
it's only a family plan.
are you sure? Because I don't know if they actually
It needs to be linked via Nintendo account or family group.
Yeah. Linked via Nintendo account,
or
which is
or family group
or
So
family group. So
it-
you can do it from peer to peer. So I can
as
come
long
to
as
you.
as long as you're linked.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
as long as we're basically
But-
linked, basically friends.
No, not
no,
friends.
family
It
plan.
needs to be registered within the Nintendo account linked, or they're two separate things.
Mm.
They're two. They classify it as two separate things.
yes.
It's either a
So
family
friends
group-
can't do it, but if like
no,
if
the
I
friends can if your
Friends-
accounts are linked.
yes. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. You can like link accounts with friends, and
Yeah.
then we can
Oh.
basically trade back and forth.
yeah.
But it makes me wonder if they'll hide that behind, like, you need to have Nintendo's subscription family plan in order to do.
That's what I think is going to be the kicker.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just
Because
gonna,
otherwise,
I think it'll just
anyone
be an
could just do it.
online-
anyone could just do it. Yeah.
I think it'll be an online something only, but I don't know
Yeah.
if they'll lock it behind the family membership in particular. I think it'll just be an online
Well, yeah, maybe you just have to sub.
because you
have
need
to
the
have
sub. They
subscription.
have a sub, or they have an online sub, right?
Yeah.
You'll probably need that to do the whole
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough. They'll lock it behind, and it's so cheap.
It's a very interesting thing.
Mhm.
Very.
what's Nintendo a year? $40 now?
$44.99, something like that.
$44.99. Yeah, it's like nothing. It's
Oh,
like
that's
very,
for the
very
family
cheap.
plan. Their family plan is cheap. I think their single is still $24.99.
24. Yeah, that's so cheap for a single, bro. $24.99 for a whole year. That's a good deal.
That is.
And the fact that you can trade games, I think the thing is, I did ask a question when I sent this in the group. I said, "Do you think this is gonna kill physical copies of games?"
I said it might be the start.
I think no. I think the start was a long time ago. I really do.
That's
I think the start was in the PS4 era. Even prior, I think if you really looked at it, the PS3 era. Like the online was such a big part. So many people bought their games online, and it only.
Not during the PS3. No.
Oh yeah.
No.
No.
No. Not. I'm not saying like it was the vast
I would
majority.
Say, I would say PS4.
Hold on.
Midlife PS4.
Hold
That's
on.
when it really
I'm not
took
saying
off.
the vast majority. I'm saying people were buying games. You could buy
Oh,
games. on the
started
Play-
to?
Yes.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
starting
saying. The
to, yeah,
start.
yeah.
The start of this whole
It wasn't
thing.
a lot, but it was like niche.
The start of games becoming irrelevant.
Because I remember it
you
coming
can
out,
probably
and
trace
a
back
lot
in
of
the
the
PS3.
community, like back
era.
when like Reddit was like, no.
Yeah.
No,
Well, some people were like, yeah.
Yeah.
But a majority were like, no.
and then it kind of it was kind of 50-50 on the PS4. I think by the end of the PS4 era, I feel like it was more digital than it was
yeah,
physical.
I would say. I'd say
It was this PS4 era really from the start to end changed
Because
that.
these days, if you buy a game
Xbox One
online
era.
and the Xbox launch, it just loads onto your console at like 9.
even
So
with
you
the
don't have to go anywhere.
Even the now look at the Nintendo Switch, the PS5, and the Xbox
Yeah.
Series. Most of their game sales are digital. Most people are buying digital consoles. It's just more popular. It is.
And they're cheaper.
Right? And they're cheaper, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like this has been coming for a long time. I feel like this is a big
Sorry, I
axe.
feel like this is a start for Nintendo.
See, I think this
No, Nintendo's been doing this for like years.
since
They've been
Wii-
wanting to get rid of physical. Like,
sorry, I was
didn't out-
always referencing PlayStation, but I should have been
they,
referencing
they didn't
Nintendo.
they don't outright say
Okay,
it, but they've been
fair.
wanting to get rid of like physical for a long time, which is why they've always done like the like Nintendo rewards and
Mhm.
stuff like that
We
to encourage people to buy brand new.
yes.
That's fair.
The only issue with them
Even
was
on the
they-
3DS.
They put expirations on there, which like people.
That's the
hated.
kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now with this virtual game card thing, I think this puts a complete. It almost makes it irrelevant to own. To buy a game unless you want to sell it later. But
Like the-
even if you want to sell
Like
it,
you want to get
couldn't
rid of
you just-
ownership of what you buy. This is the way to do it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, yeah. So like, let's say
Like this will absolutely like single player games like Mario and stuff.
Mhm.
It's gonna kill ownership for sure. And this is also like a way for Nintendo to stop those ROM things from happening
and you want to know,
because they've been going after that market for years,
And-
just shutting
yeah.
them down and everything.
and you know what? I think this is going to be a new like. There might be even a new avenue where they can say you can sell your game cards, right? Like there's going to be a new avenue where now I can
For
come
like
to you.
Nintendo points. at
I
the
can
store.
link my account to you,
Like Bitcoin.
send you my virtual
Crypto.
exactly. They could even put a mark on it, like 15% markup, right? Like you want to sell your game for $35 or whatever, put it on the marketplace. They take 15, right? Like that's a
I didn't
easy
even think
way
of
for
that,
Nintendo
yeah.
to make tons of cash
I didn't even think of
and
that.
people to get cheaper games, right? So I mean,
Used virtual cartridges would be nuts.
see, but this is the thing. It acts as their new physical games.
it does. It
right?
does. Yes. Yeah.
And their new physical games now, I'm very curious to see what this like starting when this virtual game card thing comes, because when was it slated?
I think when the Switch 2 drops.
Right? Is
I,
Switch 2
I think I
release?
could be very wrong.
April 2025.
April 20. So it's actually coming, like this week,
Yeah.
like possibly
Well,
in the next
they
like, few
don't
weeks.
give an exact date.
Okay,
but
so next few weeks it'll be implemented.
Next month.
Right? Next month.
Yeah.
This now is we are gonna see the next few years. I'd love to look at their physical game sales compared to their digital game
It'd be
sales.
very interesting.
Because
I don't think we'll get to see that. Because most companies have stopped. A lot of companies have kind of stopped posting what they make in terms of sales.
yeah,
They
for,
never post them
for
digitally.
digital. Yeah, for digital
Like,
now,
I-
it's very
yeah.
hard to. It's very hard to.
They'll
some-
only spout the number of players that are playing online, not what's
Mm.
been actually bought.
Yeah, and this
Yeah.
is where it gets kind of there's like kind of shadiness behind it. Like we won't really know these sales numbers. We won't really know
All
how
the
things are
nooks and the
doing.
crannies.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be
And
interesting.
then the next one more thing was their new news app, which is Nintendo Today.
They're just
Wow.
being silly. They did
That's-
a music
yeah.
app. Now they're doing. Like, I
They
don't
did
know.
say that
For what?
all the Switch 2 news following will just be on the app.
So no more Nintendo Directs, or they
I'm-
will do Nintendo Directs, but
They will do directs, but if you miss it, all the news will be on there.
They're gonna their posting isn't gonna be on the Nintendo. It won't might be on the Nintendo website. It'll now be through this Nintendo News app, is what I'm assuming. If
Yeah.
you want like the full details on things, you'll go to the Nintendo News app, or just go
I
to
see what they're
any.
doing. That's
any
smart.
news
trying to be-
outlet.
they're trying to be the hub for like gaming.
Not
Yeah.
even game. It's just Nintendo.
Or
I think
ju-
it's
or
just
just for
Nintendo. It's
Nintendo, yeah.
just Nintendo News.
It
Yeah.
could
That's
branch
it.
out from there though, because if it gains enough attention,
See, another thing I
It will.
thought of
Who's,
is
who's
that
actually going to download Nintendo News? For real.
Nintendo nerd,
Nintendo nerd.
Like,
Yeah,
Nintendo-
that's what I mean.
Nintendo fans for sure.
Exactly. And it's
And then
just
eventually parents that
I feel personally attacked, but that's okay.
no, because you're a Nintendo fan.
yeah,
The thing is, I know so many people who play video games are Nintendo fans, right?
But I think this news
There's-
app will help them because them saying all the Switch 2 stuff will be on there. This will help the leaks from stopping. Potentially.
No, that won't
That's
help. I don't
that's
think that'll help
that's
the
just
leaks stopping at all. The
a
leaks
thought
are
I
going to
had.
come out and they're going to be. See, the thing is, I'm not going to go. Why would I go to Nintendo News app when I can just go online and search it up, and then I'm going to have 20 different articles that are already going to be respouting the same information, right? And I can just read it right off the
True.
off the headline, or just get a quick. I just want to have everything consolidated.
Mhm.
That's my thing. I'm just like I don't want to have to get a news app just to go and look at your news. I want it just in front of me, digitized, like point by point basis. That's what
Yeah.
I want.
What
If it was
time
like
is it?
that.
12:25
No, sorry for the.
hour 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're
Remember 6.
I gotta
minutes of
go.
that were like-
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I have to go.
let's wrap this up then. This has been actually a lengthier conversation than we thought it
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah.
But
Good
yeah,
though. A lot of information.
yeah, it was kind of like a light week this week.
Yeah.
Next week again gonna be huge. So if you
Thick.
guys thick episode with 14 C's. So if you want this thick episode and Goku to fall down, you should
Frieza
sub,
won.
like, comment, subscribe, do all those things down below. You know what to do.
You know what's
Please
crazy?
do it. We love
Both the
you.
bad guys are standing, and the that's crazy.
Yeah, because on my side,
I won then.
you did win. Thank you for watching Sack Squad. We will see you next week with a brand new season of anime.
I won't be here.
We love you.
I love
Like,
you guys.
Comment, subscribe.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Bye.
Peace.